Great. Start the chat and then realise that I probably wanted some water. Oh well. Okay, that's working. And I'm wearing the wrong shirt. This one shows off my gut a little bit too much. G'day Leslie, yes I'm live. It's almost 2:15 in the morning. I've just spent the evening cleaning up my workshop a little bit, and I need to get this thing fixed up for tomorrow so that I can get paid. G'day Annex. So all I really need to do with this iPhone 5, it's got all the water damage markers triggered off on it, but it still seems to work. I just need to put a new glass plate on the back here. Hopefully it won't give me too much drama. And I'm stealing it from this one, though I'm kind of tempted to... so I keep trying to decide between the two. This one has damaged flexes. They don't work. And the amount of work required to pull them all out and realign everything makes me think I'd rather just move that metal, glass plate over to there. Okay, Bobby Gordon, I don't recall seeing you here before. Welcome. What is someone saying? That it's wrong to be a night owl? Alright, well, the first thing we'll do is we'll get the top plate out of this one. It shouldn't be too difficult because this is actually a third-party one. It's not an original. So I'm expecting the glue to be less aggressive. So I'm just going to use our hot air. Okay, fixing things. Make sure if you swap the glass, use a lot of heat. Yes. G'day, Miles. Yes, I know. This, fortunately, is not my first rodeo with this one. And if this fails, I've got a couple of others I can use. But I'm hoping for this one. And I've got the wrong nozzle on it. I hate body transfer repairs, yeah. Not a great fan of them myself either, Bobby. So I better get my spudger so that I can lever it out appropriately. .80 degrees C at a hot plate for LCDs and it'll go out. Okay, John, I don't know if I went to the wrong place the other night when I was looking for getting one of those what do you call it, iPhone motherboard holders, but I didn't see any stock on hand. Might have just been my bad luck. Alright. Annex, if you're really feeling that way, I'd strongly suggest you getting in touch with the right people. Mother flippin' hell, that was hot. Smells like someone's cooking pork around here, and that's my finger. Bloody hell. Alright, successful extraction. That was the hard part. Now to see if it'll even fit in here, because this has been compacted. Thanks, John. Oh, the filthy little bastards. Just a wee fraction too compacted in there. Which explains why it was broken in the first place. I've only done one of those repairs in 6 years. Yes, about my third or fourth one. Sometimes I do them just if the person is nice to me, so to speak, not giving me any dramas, then it looks pretty messy. Normally I have spares on hand, but naturally I do not today. I just realised I haven't got the little mesh that sits in this tiny little I think a microphone hole. Yeah, microphone. So I'll have to put that on. Right now my bigger issue is how to slightly push this out without doing any substantial damage. Hard part is just riding out the storm. Yeah, that really is true. It's very hard, particularly when it's late. Very difficult. Hard to believe at times that anyone wants to be of any help to you. Alright, I'm gonna go see if my G tool might be able to pull that out, but I have a feeling it will not. Alright, if I'm strongly suspecting this will not even remotely. Yep, that's what I thought. It protrudes too far beyond. Mind you, I might be able to try angle it in. Let's try angling it in. because it's such a fine area, it may actually pull out enough, even though I cannot get a good bite on it. If I had a proper working spare chassis, replacement chassis, I'd probably just swap it over, no dramas. I'm gonna screw up their home button doing lock button doing that. So anyone get any interesting repairs done today or yesterday? I see Lewis Rossman finally made a reappearance, so that would have made quite a few people happy. I for one did not manage to wake up early enough to catch that. Yeah, I think my hot air can come off now. I'll just let it cool down first. Fine. I believe Leslie's talking to Annex Delia. Sorry. Yes, the Dremel. It's time to unlock the iPhone 5 and give me the access to installing a new glass plate. And for this, I think the only tool I've got that's remotely suitable is this sandpaper. That's going to really mess up that camera. Just a bunch of iPhone screens as usual. Oh, that's right, Miles. You're remaking them, aren't you? You're like split them and then glue them back together and stuff like that. There is one complaint I have with this gorgeous thing is they have put the lock button here to hold the shaft right next to the power button. So there's been a few times where I've just sort of slipped accidentally down and pressed the power button and I've had the spanner in there. It's been like the bad old days of when I used to do metal work and you'd accidentally leave the chuck key in the chuck and cause all sorts of god awful damage and scare the living daylights out of yourself for a couple of weeks. Alright, that should hopefully give us enough. I don't need a lot. I need perhaps a quarter of a millimeter to get. That should suffice. Miles, are you doing any of the 6S or 7s? Probably should pull the camera first. Yeah, it seems fine. I'm moderately skilled on holding that in the right place. And it's done the job. It's all good. I will have to wash the camera though after that. Well, there we go. It's not brilliant, but you know, it's sitting in there. Now I've got to push it back out without damaging the antenna. That's something that I unfortunately do a lot. Well, when I say a lot, 50% of the time is I forget that the antenna is attached onto the back of this. And then I pull this out and I notice that Apple have left a nice little pull notch in the antenna flex. Whether that's deliberate or not, I'm not entirely sure, but it certainly encourages the antenna to tear as soon as you get any tension on it. Hey, Rave. Dun, dun, dun. I have like 3 or 4 7 screens. Oh, it's 7 plus. Wow. Okay. So how are the 7 screens engineered internally? Are they any more complicated than, say, the 6S? Is it just a case of they decide to keep the old design and change the orientation around a little bit? Kind of curious. I've never had a 7 here. There was a case where a person was going to bring in a 7, and I was quite excited about it. It was going to be my first look at one, and unfortunately that did not eventuate, so I was a little bit disappointed there. And unfortunately, furthermore, I am not financially loaded like certain popular internet people who can just go out and buy a couple. And then if they make any mistakes on it, they can go and say, hey, this is under Apple Care, fix it for us. Alright, I don't actually begrudge those people. I just think it's interesting. Oh, g'day, Cryj. Fixing things. I've done a 7 Plus today. It's the same crap, right? Okay. Same crap, just orientated differently. Would you believe I'm only just now starting to offer iPhone 6S repairs around here, like the screens? My supplier now has them for, well, I can get them as cheap as $56 or something like that, which is, I'm no fool. I've encountered those $56 ones before, and you can be guaranteed in 2 weeks, or if you're lucky, they'll be back glitching or something equally bad. So instead I pay the extra and I buy the $99 ones, which are refurbs, and at least I have a reasonable chance of not seeing them back in a week or two. So the home button cable is always scary to remove. Obviously that's on the iPhone 7. And why is that? Is it now, well, I've noticed on the 6S that, with that metal plate, I'm presuming is something to do with the because it's a pressure sensitive assembly, and I see that the home cable does go through that. Miles, 56 Australian dollars for aftermarket iPhone 6S screens, and that's domestically supplied. I can get cheaper if I go through China, obviously, as you all know, but I'm not turning the volumes at this point to warrant going that route. So I'd rather offload the risk to someone domestically and deal with the higher price. Marwe Bonishi, computer science exam over, time to get back to streams. Marwe, what was your exam on? What on earth are you charging for this backplate repair? Why? What is it worth? It's actually a complete phone repair. I've changed the battery, I've changed the screen, I've done a bunch of other things. It's a case of a customer that has done a lot of work through me, and I'm just fixing it up so I can stay alive for another season, so to speak. I'm just trying to find the two-sided tape that I use for bonding these back down. It's in here somewhere. Or maybe it's not. Good God, what did I knock over there? Oh. Jacqueline Fagundes. Any suggestion on how to get customers? Yes, that's very subjective, but I would say that if you got any family or friends or just people you know, just let them know that you're doing this sort of work. And unfortunately, it's a slow process. Once you do a couple of jobs, and you will probably end up having to do them quite cheap or be extremely what's the word I'm looking for? Extremely helpful, put it this way, anyway. And then over time, you will get a word of mouth reputation, and they'll suggest you things like that, and then then the work gets flowing in. But of course, it depends on what sort of environment you're working in terms of a high density city. Are you in a rural zone? All those sort of factors come into play. But it starts out usually just by simply letting people know that you're doing that kind of work, the people around you, and then they may hear from one of their friends that their friend is, say, got a broken computer or whatever, and they'll go, oh yeah, I know my friend is doing that, so why don't you get in contact with him? But it takes a long time to build up that sort of way. It probably was at least 12 months here before I was on regular work through that sort of thing. If there is a Facebook channel or group for your local community, it's worth getting onto that and starting to just keep an ear out for people looking for that sort of work to be done. Bobby Gordon, word of mouth is my biggest source. Yeah, it works very well, and it's cheap. Alan, is that a battery powered Dremel? How's the torque? Yes, it's a 2-cell lithium. It works really well. The torque is quite good. It will knock itself out of my hand if I don't control it. It definitely does not lack in power, particularly for this sort of work. I mean, maybe if you're trying to carve through some solid block of iron, bark, wood, or something like that, it would have a hard time and may stall. But for this sort of work, it does not lack power at all. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, CryJ, your hacker arrived yesterday. Oh, much jealousy. Let's see, Bobby, ROP and Linux kernel development. They should teach that at computer science. Oh, okay, things have changed. Things have changed. So I need to go find the adhesive for this. It's in my other office, so I'll be right back. Hey Chris, nice to see you. I finally got to the end of your TriStar video today. It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy indeed. Huh? Is this legit? Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna. Oh, right. Alright then. Maybe I'll just do half. The cutout for this adhesive is too tight because what they're trying to do with this cutout is bond down these two optical elements as well, which we don't really need. So I'm probably going to be very bad and cut it off about there. So bad. Eli is going to be mad. Poor Eli. So I actually haven't ever watched one of Eli's streams. I've seen it offered up to me plenty of times on YouTube, and I don't know, just doesn't. Why? What the heck? The adhesive did not come off with that. Ah, oh, that's such a pain in the ass when that happens. Let's see if I can stick it back down. Because if you try to lift it off without the paper, it just curls back up on itself. There we go, got it that time. That was a bit of a joke. Yeah, the bird's nest experiment, that's pretty good, yeah. So what was the high current draw from the success caused by Chris? Eli repeats himself too much and stream to me are too long. So how do you feel about Lewis Rossman's streams, given that that guy can go for, well, 4 or 5, I think he's done a 6 hour stream once, hasn't he? Oh no, that was you, Chris. You did the 6 hour stream. You lunatic. Is that 3am 300 SE? It certainly is. Good guess. Well, no, you know your stuff. There you go. No, you can read that. It's. I haven't got it on autofocus at the moment, so yeah, that should stick down quite nicely. How much do you need to get a scope? About 1,000 Australian dollars. The scope itself is just over 500 US dollars, and the rest of the money is chewed up getting DHL to not screw it up when they send it over. Lewis gets to the point. I don't know about that. I suppose if you're talking about workshop work, maybe, but when he gets on a wholesome opinion video, it definitely doesn't get to the point straight away. Well, mate, that's not true. He does, but then he reiterates. And to be fair, that's probably to the advantage of any smooth brains watching, which may include myself. Okay. I need more tape. I don't have time for Rossman's videos anymore. Maybe unless they're his philosophy videos. See, I'm the other way around. If I see he's got a philosophy video coming up, I just generally don't bother. But yeah, I've got absolutely nothing against Lewis Rossman streams or anything. Please don't think that I'm saying otherwise. I spend way too much watching his stuff. Thoroughly enjoy it. Is a primary reason that I'm doing a lot of this work nowadays. Yeah, I need to go into rehab and stop watching so much. Oh, Chris. Well, I sent back about $1,500, I think. when I tallied it up of RMAs to my iPhone parts supplier, and there was actually a couple of Samsung screens in there, S3 and an S4 that were dud. Um, just bad bonding of them. Like when they put the frame on, it was offset by a millimeter or two. One of them, the frame was popping up from the uh, LCD panel itself, so obviously I couldn't put the circuit board onto that. The other one, the cable for the screen, the data cable, it was offset too far, so you couldn't get it to clip onto the logic board. It's not the first time I've had that problem with this supplier, with the data cable not lining up properly, and they say, "Oh, just push it a bit harder." So hell no, I'm not doing that. As soon as I do that, that FPC will just shear off. So just send him back. His philosophy videos I download as audio. Yeah, man, as audio, yeah, definitely. His workshop videos are just the same thing over and over again. That is workshop stuff, isn't it? For the most part. I mean, he's done his 250 odd educational, tutorial based, specific fault type videos. These days, it's really more for entertainment for us. Sure, we get to watch him repair something, but I think for a lot of us, it's just the interaction with Lewis, often comical aspects to it, as well as interacting with everyone else that we already know, and trying to troll here and there for a bit of fun. Alright, I need to go get my 5mm tape so I can put that in there. I have long since run out of proper official iPhone 5 pull tab ones. I think I ordered about 50 of them, and they ended up being iPhone 4S ones, which almost work, but no, I'm finding just putting down 5mm strip stuff is easy enough anyway. Paul, yes, I know I need a scope. And as I mentioned before, it's really not a case of me holding out, um, not sort of going, oh, I don't think I'll buy that this month. It's just a reality I've got to deal with right now. There's certain things that have gotten way out of control. I need to go get a pair of scissors. There's just some financial things that have gotten a little bit too far out of control. I've been trying to wind them back the last few years. I'm very, very close to the end of a painful process, and I'm a little bit apprehensive to take on any more debt at this point, unless it's absolutely essential. And at this stage, I am still getting quite a bit of normal tech work, like just general laptop servicing, things like that. Yeah, it's not the sort of work I want to be doing for too long, or depending on it all the time. But it does keep the bills at bay. The main reason that I would like to move forward more on the electronics repairs, iPhone repairs, MacBook repairs, and things that need that microscope, is that it'll allow me to start doing more mail order type situations, and that allows me to then free myself of the locality issue. So right now I can't get up and go to another town or anything like that. It would just be, I may as well just go bankrupt. because as I was saying before, when who was it? Someone asked about the how to get customers. It would be a 12-month process at the very least to get a stable base going, and there's no way I can sustain my income or cover the bills for that long. So yeah, it's just sometimes in life you take enough wrong turns that you have to end up saying, yep, time to put a stop to that, and try and get back to ground zero again, start again. It happens. Subtract. Rave says, I know the story about money, the life of debt from a startup. Yep, 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 yep. I was going quite well for myself into about 2000. Then we had the .com collapse, which definitely hurt for a lot of us. And I thought, that's no problem. I still managed to recover from that after a bit. And then unfortunately other things came along, and yeah, life changes. Did you put that upside down? No, it's so good. Anyway, needless to say, I just need to be a little careful right now about what I do financially. And by the... Dear God, man. How much stuff did I put on the other workbench? This is the trouble when you clean up. You move your stuff around, and then you go do a live stream, and you spend all your time getting up and down. You can just sit there. I really should be wearing gloves for this. I'll have to wash off my fingerprints after this. I don't like the idea that I've left fingerprints on people's machines. Because often what can happen is when you look at it at first, you sort of go, that's not going to leave much of a mark. But our fingerprints are corrosive, and after a couple of weeks, that slight mark will turn into a nice, dirty, black, gunky, etched mark. And then another tech will come along and go, yo, that's just vile, man. Yep, there goes someone on a motocross bike trying out things at nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. Is it any wonder anyone gets sleep around here? Come off, you dirty little fingerprints. Come on, off you come. End off here too, because I know my knuckle pressed up against that. Okay. Oh, you filthy bastard. Sorry, apologies for the deterioration of language. I find it interesting that the water damage markers are all set off on this, but there's no visible corrosion anywhere. So quite likely it either is under the shields, or it was just left in a humid environment. Maybe someone had a hot steamy shower. Okay, hopefully this will power up. Oh, sweet Bridget, do not. It's just caught on a tongue here somewhere. Come on, in you go. You're in? Oh no. It's just being viciously bent, that's all. Oh well. This is where I do like the iPhone 5C a bit, as that polycarbonate case takes a hell of a beating and just keeps on going. Something's not right here. I give up, I got millions on my card and it declines and the bank called. PayPal. Yes, look, my website, if you go to pldaniels.com or if you check in the... Actually, there is a PayPal link in the description. I switched over to PayPal Me and it's right there. Not that I explicitly solicit. Ooh. I don't like it when this situation here, you have to push slightly down on the screen just to get the screws to line up. I think I will just do one. I'm going to boot. Let's see if that other one's come into alignment. Maybe they can distribute the load. Yeah, that's aligned. Okay. So loosen them both up and then tighten them both. That's the one, Chris. Yes. I need to add links and shimmer. Yes, Chris, I noticed that the other day. I was going through your stuff like a responsible stalker, and I noticed that you did not have anything in terms of Amazon links or anything like that. Oh great, yeah. Put a passcode on it so I can't use the damn... Do anyone remember working with the iPhone 4s or the 4Ss, and when you first start up you can't be sure whether you've got a touch issue or it's just lagging like hell? Anyway, well, that one seems fine now, so that's good. That job's done. I'm happy with that. I take a fiber nail file to the bottom edge once in a while to get rid of the sharp edge that hangs up. Yeah, I've got a... No, I don't know where they are. Doesn't matter. Oh, I've got a bunch of needle files, although they are a little aggressive, so I should try the fiber one. The needle files tend to eat through aluminium all too well. Okay, so that's that part of the evening done. And now my next one is actually something for myself. And as you've seen, I use these wireless keyboard and mice combinations from Logitech. The MK or K220s. And it seems that this mouse has died, and I'm kind of curious as to why. It's fresh batteries. Are yours affiliated? Yes, Chris, they are. Yeah, if you do get started with the Amazon affiliates, you'll be very shocked at just how, put it this way, you could end up with absolutely no YouTube advertising income, and your affiliates will do vastly better anyway. Oh, Chase Bank. Oh, gee. So what's the deal? It's like Chase Bank is the dominant sort of bank in America or something. I mean, I see Lewis always making jokes about Chase and Starbucks, basically implying that everything's going to turn into one or the other. Well, there's not much to these. I mean, look at it. It's like an olden day mouse. Man, I've got, what is it? Steampunk. That's it. It's a steampunk mouse. Alright, let's see what we can do to So we've got a rotary encoder there, we've got our two switches, but the fundamental issue here is we simply have no power getting into it that I'm aware of. I'm a big fan of the all-in-one keyboard, trackpad, Logitech keyboards. Ooh. I can't really get the hang of those trackpads. Great. There's basically almost nothing to this keyboard. Yeah, that's because it's not a keyboard, dumbass. Okay, well I guess I'll put some voltage on and see what we got. So 2.4, well, I'd say 3 volts should be sufficient on this, and we can see. Now the nice thing I do like about these is I can plug this device into my laptop, which already has one, and they won't collide, but I will be able to use them both concurrently. So like this is the keyboard of the thing, and let me just see. I'm just gonna test. Oh, I just did it then. That's interesting. That keyboard is not. That works. That works. Oh well, anyway. It's working well enough, I think. I wonder if the LEDs did. I'll get the camera and have a look. Alright, I'll get some test leads to put some power into this. Oops. Actually, yeah, I'll put some test leads and get the camera to see if I can see any infrared. That's interesting. The keys are being remapped in a strange kind of way now that I've got the second keyboard plugged in. So we'll take that out. Let's see if that goes back to normal now. Yep, it does. Okay. Sorry, I missed out on a bit of chat here. Let's see. Chris, I'm big. Yeah, I read that bit. Dun, dun, dun. Miles and Chris chit-chatting. No crack. Logitech is well known for their great customer service. I think you can get it replaced for free. Probably not here in Australia. I don't think the Australian consumer has that sort of impact on Logitech. Logitech probably go. What suburb of New York is Australia? Okay. Test leads. I guess we'll go for. Oh, we can go for nice crocodile grabbies. Yeah, why not? Let's go for that. And then I gotta wonder where the rest of the stuff is. God damn it. Where's my multimeter? So I don't know, pardon me, I don't know exactly what's going to be wrong with this. Ah, here we go, these are the ones I was after. These ones with the very tiny grabs. Okay. Power supply, voltage 4 volts, that's a little excessive. take it down to 3. Set the current limit to 50 milliamps. Okay. Gotta go. Okay, Leslie, thank you for dropping in. I appreciate that. Nice to see you again. Okay. Ground. Ground. Positive. Positive. You may have noticed I had to move the power supply. I did have it up here. Unfortunately, what was happening is with my current light set up, I couldn't get the light to come down and I couldn't use the microscope, so that was a bit of a showstopper. Alright. Okay, 3 volts. Let's go for on. It's interesting. We're drawing full 50 milliamps there. That's not good. I'll just push it up to 100 and see what happens. I suppose 100 makes the okay, current. There we go. Wow, that's straight away maxing out. Let's see if we've got a short. You wanna know why it's maxing out? Did anyone mention me? No one saw it. Okay, no one saw that. No one saw me make the big boo-boo. Thank God for current limited power supplies. That's better. 3 milliamps. Right. I don't think we're getting any power to that LED. By the way, nice to see you there, TCRS. Have I given you... Yes, you've got appropriate powers here. Which reminds me... Okay. Just going to turn this off and see if I can get any flickering. Absolutely. I hope the... Oh, actually, maybe I do. Yeah, we've got flickering going on in there. I can see it now. It's not very bright. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Paul, you're gonna have to email me now, Paul. Well, I'm certainly gonna have to email you. We're gonna have a talk about that. You're kind of leaving me a little bit speechless there, Paul. Wow. That certainly is one for the history books. Damn, yeah. That's the bomb. What the flippin' heck? Paul, do you want to give me a message? If you go to my website, you'll see my email address. I'd like to at least talk to you a bit more, given what you've just done. If that's okay by you, I mean, yeah, you kind of leave me feeling a bit humble, to say the least. Oh, hello Pernov. Now you get a microscope. There's your microscope. Yes, indeed. Alright. Well, Paul, if you, yeah, like I said, if you want to just send me email, if that's okay by you, at least I can then formally get in touch with you and let you know how things go. But, like I said, if you don't want to understand, that's fine. But, yeah. And you sure you really want to be doing that, given that this person here can't even remember which way to... It's got to go in this way. It came out so easy and now it doesn't want to go back in. I think maybe this could be a case of spending $20 and buying a whole new unit. Seriously though, how sad is it that I've got to turn this upside down to have a look? I'm just going to check the circuit board closely. If it's flickering and giving me the usual sort of mouse stuff, then I can only imagine then it's something RF related causing problems. In which case, there's pretty much no point in me doing anything more. There's a couple of pins on this TQFP. Not that I call it a TQFP. It's a QFN, I think. And they don't look so great. But again, it's certainly not bad. It could just be a case of something went bad and that's the end of that. Because there's really nothing else on these to go wrong. I mean, if anything goes wrong in the motion sensor, optical motion sensor, then it's no good anyway. So I would possibly say that this has just gone dud. There's no obstructions that I can see in it. So anyway, nice way to waste half an hour of your life. But it could have been interesting, you know, there could have just been a bug there obstructing it, and if that was the case, then all I'd have to do is remove it and then voila, it would have been working again. Unfortunately, it would seem that we didn't quite have that luck. That's okay. Let's put it back together. Who knows, maybe magic has happened. What the Jeez, Chris, there I was trying to do work and you're spitting out the dollars like that? can have words with you, Chris. Words. Oh, now I really am going to have to work hard. All these expectations. See, this is half the other reason why you don't go out asking for things. Because when you ask for things, there's expectations, and then you got to live up to them. And then when people find out, you're just bumming around, and then you get into trouble. Okay, so I swear that mouse just moved. He teaches you guys daily. He needs. Well, certainly quite a lot of people, I think, come in here for maybe the entertainment of seeing some poor tech in outback Australia suffering, and I don't mind that. I mean, gosh, what was that the other night when I had that touchscreen failure issue? Oh man, that's going to be another week or so before I get that one back. So, what I normally like to do in those situations, I just buy a replacement in advance, and then when the supplier gets it, they just credit me, and that's all good. But of course, sometimes you can't quite extend that far. So I think that's the most frustrating bit. Sorry about yabbering on about those sort of things, but when you get to a situation where you can't run your business fluently, like insulating your clients from your situation, I find that quite distressing, because I don't like to have to say to the customer, look, there's going to be a 3-week delay because of this, and they're like, wow. And so yeah, it's a bit awkward having to spill out these sort of things. But unfortunately, sometimes you just have to do that, and people are understanding, but you don't want to have to rely on that all the time. I think that's poor business form. You're meant to be running a business, and you're meant to behave as a business. Pardon me. So yeah, that's a bit frustrating. Oh, come on. Canadian dollars are great. It's a bit like Australian dollar, I think, at this point. No, seriously, Rave, thank you very much to... see, these Americans have too many dollars, us Aussies are poor. Now that's a big fat lie. I mean, fixing things, you're over in Western Australia, you guys are going to go off and make your own country on that side of the continent, and you've got all those mining resources and minerals, and you've got the rare earths too over there. Stuff that I thought was good for the USB scope looked like crap under the AM scope. Yeah, Mr. Bit, okay. All he has a live stream most days, and you'll learn some. Well, thank you. If any of you do need to email me, like I said, my address is on my website. Best to use the Gmail one, which is simply pldaniels@gmail.com. Mike, yes, you missed me taking my shirt off to reveal certain things that no one else will ever get to see again, so I'm sorry you missed out on that opportunity. You're 198 subs away from Super Chat Bar. Yeah, Chris, your channel has picked up subscribers at a very impressive rate, I gotta say. It was... How long ago did you start? It wasn't that long ago you started. You started after I did, and already you've blown well past where I was. So, yeah, I hate saying I'm very impressed because it sounds somewhat patronising or condescending, but I'm not trying to be. I'm serious. I missed it. Did you say what web addresses you added to the Amazon affiliates account, or did you add YouTube? You add your YouTube channel URL. Do not add youtube.com, because if you do that, they will deny your application because they'll think that you're trying to take YouTube's account. So you put your channel or your personal page YouTube URL in it. That's the only one I did. So if you got questions, just message me in the usual way. So Donald Trump. Yeah, fixing things. Once you get to 1,000 subscribers, you can turn on Super Chat. Plan to post cat videos soon. Oh yes, that would be something we both can compete at. Uh, so, TCRS, yes, you've got the 100 subscribers up. Funnily enough, when I first started doing my YouTube channel, I thought, or at least I believed at that point, that you had to get 100 subscribers to be able to do any sort of advertising and monetize that advertising. But it seems like it wasn't the case at the time. So for a couple of months there, I wasn't bothering to do any advertising on the streams, which, oh well, no loss. But I see now that they have changed the requirements and you have to have 10,000 views to do the monetizing, which I think is fairly fair, given the number of sort of fly-by-night channels that you see pop up, and they will distribute something like Family Guy or one of the popular cartoon series, and they'll just draw in a lot of cash that way. Bobby Gordon, Paul Downs Crystalon, you guys are down-to-earth fellows. I think that has an appeal to certain people more than Jester and Lewis. I know what you're saying about that, Bobby. I think ultimately what does happen though is that people say, like myself and Chris and perhaps Jason of STS, is as the subscriber numbers grow, you do have to push yourself away from them a bit. I'm already starting to get certain emails in which make me just simply go, look, don't really want to have to deal with this. So I think it comes with the territory. As you push up in your subscriber numbers, you tend to stick with the crowd you knew more when you were first starting, and then the new people will be like beyond a certain wall of separation, and there may be the one or two people that you let through that wall, but as an overall trend, it's, once that wall is laid down, that's it. You don't really let anyone in. So I get to deal with the customer pool. Sorry, Miles. Yes, you missed the strip show. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. This is a little overwhelming. I really, I'm going to try not sound too soppy, but I will try and do something to indicate that when the microscope arrives, that it was on the back of people making the donations and not from my own pocket. So I think it's important to do that, but you're maybe not in a really sort of flashy kind of showy way, but something that fundamentally indicates that there were people that helped me out to get that piece of equipment. Cell phone surgeon. I saw you the other night, that's right. I keep forgetting, where are you from, the cell phone surgeon? The reason why I asked is there's a chap in the town 120 kilometres away who's also the cell phone surgeon. FM station. Well, what FM station are you talking about? Is this like a pirate radio? I'm new to microsoldering, but which is better, ZXW or pads? And where can I get the schematics? You can get the board views and the schematics. There are links to certain Google Drives that have those details for you. If you go to badcaps.net and you search in the laptop repair section, you will find there is a thread there that people are sharing their board views and whatnot. And in particular, there is a post or two which details specifically these Google Drives that have many hundreds of archived files in there. I believe if you search for the name Al Borbra, I think it is. Let me just go check that for you. Obviously I can't give you the direct link, but I will check it. I'm just going to have to secure shell into my other machine. Let me just switch over here. Good God, man. No, that one. Nope, that'll do. Okay. Anyone want to hack my machine? Ah. Okay. You're quite right, TCRS. That's not where I got them from. I forgot about that. In fact, I do believe it would seem as though I have. Uh, Take a search for this name here um, within bad caps, and you may find it. Here we go. Alabov. If you do a Google on badcaps.net looking for that particular name, you won't find anything there that you want. So don't Google for that particular name. Alright. That's the best I can help you with. And as for the difference between ZXW and pads, well, obviously pads is free. There are certain extra bits of information that pads would have, given that if you get the right files, they will have all the layouts as well in terms of the circuit board. But ZXW does have the good community contributions in it at the moment. Open Board View is, I am looking at how to integrate a community sort of annotations type amendment to it. I've got to admit I've sort of put that on the back burner a little bit because it's just been a bit too busy here lately. I've had to prioritize. I spent I think it was 6-7 months last year working on Open Board View, so I sort of need to step away from it for a bit. What is the SQLite 3 file for? The TCRS, that's the annotations file. Well, that's all it's currently used for, is annotations, but I will be expanding on what it can hold later. I'm planning on things like high resolution photos, just notes, or whatever you can stick in a database. Yeah, there. Of course, Pianov's here. He can tell you too. Don't Google Helpedia. Oh, yeah, I'll try not to do that. GSM hosting iPhone. Yes, Alan, that's one place where you won't find the iPhone stuff. GSM hosting is where I used to hang out all the time when I was starting on the iPhone 3GSs. So, and then I found bad caps simply because I was working on PC laptops. So, I got to tell you one thing is I don't know how I did a lot of the PC laptop repairs prior to having board views. Now if someone just gives me a schematic and I've got to go and look on the board, on the silk screen for the parts I'm after, it drives me insane. It's like, no way I did this in the past. Too busy sounds like a terrible problem to have. Yeah, well, Miles, it's a case of I sort of burned up that 6-7 months of just hardcore writing and working on Open Board View. And then I sort of got to the end of it and realised, whoops, I really probably should have been doing more day-to-day business work, not sitting there coding like a lunatic. And there was a couple of reasons why I did it. The first one is I wanted it for myself, and the programmer in me saw what the Chloride version was like, and I thought, well, yeah, that's good, but I want to improve on things. And sadly, when you improve on one thing, it tends to lead you to another and another and another and another. And before I knew it, it was way out of control. It was hell for the other people in the group. Like poor Pirnov had to put up with my constant writing of C code rather than C++ code. And to make things worse, Pianov had to merge, I think it was 450 or something commits that I'd put into Git, and he had to merge it back into the main master just to make it all work. So yeah, I'm sorry I did that to you, Pianov. And most things don't have silkscreen anymore. Yeah, I've started to notice that. So there's an eBay page where you pay this dude $200 access for a private forum and an FTP drive. Oh. Is that for a year or a month? Because I mean, I'll happily pay like the Lewis Rossman forum. I'll happily pay the $30 a month to fix a MacBook, to pick on Duke's brains. Although I won't ask Duke about getting a GPU replacement. No, thank you. So, good God, it's 3:30 in the morning here. I've got 4 laptops on the workbench behind me. So I kind of probably have to sign off, and I'm a little upset about having to do that, but unfortunately the reality is, as I am getting closer to 50, I'm finding that these late nights tend to beat me up a little bit, and I wake up in the morning feeling like I'm back in my 20s having a hangover. Even Duke is on the... Oh, right, Duke's on the $200... Oh, wow. Oh, so Paul, if you message me or email me, I'll be happy to reply. Chris, I'm gonna have words with you later. And Rave, thank you very much for your contribution too. 3:30. I'll see you at 10 a.m. Yes, fixing things. That's quite true. I probably will be up early enough. Like I said, I got to get these machines out. It's going to be Friday. Everybody is going to want their machine for the weekend. I've got a blown hard drive in one of them. The other one's a virus infection. The third one, I don't even know what's going on with that yet. I haven't dug into it. No, Pianov, I mean, it was a C++ project. I shouldn't have been pushing my Cisms into it. And besides, it worked better once I moved over to the C++, particularly with things like the vectors. It made it a lot easier to do things. I mean, we cop a bit of a speed penalty on some of it, but really, I mean, open board viewers, other than the graphics side of it, it's so light. So, welcome to the Old Farts Club. Yes, I'm afraid so, Greg. Alright, yes, Duke still uses Landrex. I don't know why. Maybe yeah, maybe he just likes it, and that's fine. Okay. Nanny, mate, more for the FM203. 59, I feel your pain. Okay, I don't want to quite get there yet, Bobby, but, well, it's good to see you on here anyway. I'm sure it will turn up. 59 will turn up before I realise it. I think that's the most terrifying thing I find about getting a bit older, is that it just gets faster and faster. So, Miles, you're only 20. I don't know why, but I thought you were more like you're 25 or something like that. But oh well, yeah. I guess that's just the way you portray yourself, which is a good thing. So, okay. Thank you all. I'll speak to you all later, and maybe tomorrow night I'll have something a little bit more interesting than just moving a piece of glass off an iPhone 5 and putting it on another one. But I appreciate that you all popped along to have a chat, and it's been a very interesting night, certainly one to remember. And until next time, I'll see you later, and have a good one.